everyone. Welcome to another installment of the Fall Halloween Series 2022. Today we're going to be creating this beautiful journal. Before we go through it, I want to remind you guys to make sure to comment down below to win one of three full cutting guides for this whole series. So every video in the series will have a cutting guide and you'll win all of those cutting guides. So 3 people will win that. So make sure to be a subscriber, like the video, and comment down below and I'll pick 3 people for that. I do have a new group over on Facebook. It's called Create with Martha Tucker. And it is a group for you guys to share all of your makes and creations with my tutorials. I absolutely would love to see that. I'm always so curious to see what you guys are doing with them. And then it's also a place where I'll do sneak peeks and giveaways, and I'm even considering doing a once a month live class in there so we can all chat and hang out once a month. So the link for that will be down below so you guys can go and get into that group, okay? Yeah, so the link will be below. So we have a super cute journal. It's 5x7. It has 2 sewn in signatures inside. On the front here, I use this beautiful stamp by Saturated Canary, and I will link that below. And then I've used some amazing dies here. They're all from La La Land Crafts, and I will also link those below. And then there's some flowers here. These are I Am Roses flowers. I've had them for like 10 years, so I can't link them, but I'm sure you guys have some flowers, or you could go on their website and find something similar. So you see the binding on the spine, which I really love how pretty and organic that looks. And then the back is just matted. And then I've used this really pretty, kind of like plummy, purpley seam binding for the closure. So let's open it up. So as I said, inside there are 2 signatures, and then on the inside front pocket we have a pocket here with a nice place to put a photo, or you could journal on there. And then in this pocket we have another spot for 4x6 photos. And then that goes back into the pocket. And then down here, I've just done a little clustering with some dies, and I'll link all of these below. And then this little printable is the same one from Screech Owl Designs that we have been using in some of our projects. And I will link these guys below for you. And so yeah, that's just a cute little, so there's a pocket here and there's a pocket here. And then we used our same paper that we've been using, the Fall Fields paper packed from Recollections, and we still have a ton left. I mean, this is just the stuff that I haven't really cut apart yet, so we still have a lot to get through there. So this is the paper I chose for here. I love the gold accents in this paper pack. And then we did use the Martha Stewart, I believe it's called Doily Lace Punch, a lot through this. So if you have any punches you want to get out to use, definitely do that. And then inside the signatures, I did the same thing on the pockets. I left the pages plain, but as you can see, they are sewn in. So you're going to learn how to do that in the tutorial. And then so all of the signatures have a pocket in the front and the back. And then here we have the back of our first signature and the front of our second. And then it's just the same as the first one was. Beautiful papers. And then the back is the same as the front. So we have a pocket here. And we have a side pocket here for the 4x6. And then again, this is a little printable from the Screech Owl Designs. And then these dies are also from La La Land Crafts. So it's a super cute journal. It doesn't take long at all to create. And I will link the cutting guide below if you guys want to grab that from my Etsy shop. But of course, I go through all the sizes with you through the tutorial. And then I will also link my new Facebook group so you guys can join there. There's already quite a few people and we're just having some fun in there. And then remember to comment down below to win all the cutting guides in the series. All right, guys, thank you so much and enjoy the tutorial. All right, guys, so let's get going with our journal tutorial. So I have a piece of lightweight chipboard here, or you could use a cereal box or anything like that. This is just lightweight chipboard, and it is 11 wide by 7 inches tall. On the 11-inch side, all I did is I scored at 5 inches. Then I flipped it in my scoreboard and scored again at 5 inches. So that's going to give us our 1-inch spine, okay? So before we do anything else, we need to attach a piece of pattern paper before we can sew our 2 signatures in. So you need a piece of pattern paper that measures 7/8 by 6 7/8. So 7/8 by 6 7/8, and we're just going to glue that right on here. So I've got my glue ready. I'm using my arc glitter glue. And you're just going to have the tiniest border on the top and the bottom and on the sides. Just make sure you don't go over your score marks on either side. Then we can burnish this down. All right, now let's measure and mark our holes we're going to need to sew our journals in. So what I've done is from the top down, I've marked 3/4 of an inch from the top down, and from my spine in, I've marked 1/4 inch. And I've done the same thing here, from the top down 3/4, and from the spine in 1/4 inch, okay? And I've done the same thing at the bottom, 1/4 inch in, 3/4 up, 1/4 inch in, 3/4 up, and I made a mark. And then in the middle here, what I did is I just met my 3.5 inch, which is the half of the height of our journal. 3.5, I've marked that, and then in 1/4 inch, 3.5, and in 1/4 inch. So now we can go ahead and poke those holes. And I have just a piece of felt here to poke into and a poking tool. You can use whatever kind of poking tool that you like. And I'm just poking my holes. Just like this. All right, now let's get going on our 2 signatures. So our signature cardstock, and I'm just using like this pretty peach color, measures 8.5 by 9. So it's 9 inches wide by 8.5 inches tall, okay? And then I've just scored it at 4.5, so it's just right in half. And then on the 8.5 inch side, I've scored it at 6.5, okay? So now let's fold and burnish these, and you're going to need 2. I'm going to make 1 signature with you, and then you'll make 1 more signature. So it's up to you if you want to make 1 complete one and then make the other one. So now what we need to do is cut right here on this line, like this, and then you can flip it over. And then what we need to do is grab our ruler, and from this edge in here, we're going to mark 1/2 inch. So mark 1/2 inch here, and then from this edge in, mark 1/2 inch, so that you have these 2 little 1/2 inch lines. Then we are going to cut diagonally from that tick mark down to the score line here. Just like this, and then same thing with the other one. From that tick mark down to the score line. All right, so that's what it should look like. So for my signatures, I want to dress them up a little bit. So I have this punch here. I know it's Martha Stewart, but I think it's called the Doily Lace Punch. So what I'm going to do is I want to punch along the tops of my signatures here. So I'm going to put them in like this and then line them up so there's an even amount of cardstock on both sides, showing on both sides here. And I mean, you can use any punch, or you don't even need to use a punch if you don't want to. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera there. And then line it up over here and punch, and then line it up here and punch, and then you'll do this other one the same way. All right, so now we have both sides punched, so we can go ahead and glue these sides down to close our pockets. So we are just going to put a little bit of glue on this edge. I'm using the art glitter glue again. Close it down. And then you can burnish it. All right, and the same thing for this side. I just think this adds such a pretty little touch to it. Burnish that down, just like this. Fold it up. And then that's our cute little signature. All right, so for the papers for our signature, I have copy paper here that I've cut down to 6 1/4 by 8 1/2. And we're just going to fold it on the 8 1/2 inch side, okay? So I have 15 pieces, so I'm just gonna do it in about 5-piece sections, just like this, and then we'll layer them all together afterwards. So I'm just using my bone folder. One little piece here. All right, and then just put these all together. Just like so. And try to make sure they're as even to each other as possible. All right, and then these are just gonna go inside of our signature. All right, now to make the holes for so that we can sew it in, for this one, what we need to do is I've already centered my pages and just clipped them so they would stay where they are. And with my ruler, I'm gonna line it up so that it's flush to the top. And I'm gonna make a mark right in my fold line at 1/2 inch, 3 1/4, and 6. So 1/2 inch, 3 1/4, and 6. Then I'm going to bring my poking tool back in and my felt. And I'm going to poke through those at where those 3 dots are, okay? So I find the best way to actually poke right through the back spine of the signature is to hold it up like this, then poke through, because that way you're kind of poking right into it. And then once you kind of feel it come through the back here, then you can place it down and make it so that the hole is a little bit bigger. So all 3 holes the same way. Once you feel it come through the back, then you can place it down and get your poking tool in there a little bit further. Just like this. All right, so we've got our holes. So now let's go ahead and repeat the same process. So you're going to make yourself another signature just like we did this one and get it prepared to sew in. All right, now I've created my second signature as well, and I'm just going to place that to the side for now. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start on the back of our cover here, so on the outside spine. And I'm going to go in through the center hole. You can pick whichever side to start with my needle. And all I've got on my needle is some thin embroidery thread, okay? And my needle is not sharp, but not pointy. So it's just a needle like this. You can use baker's twine or something thinner to sew yours with. I'm just going to use this. So I'm leaving myself a good amount on the outside because I want to be able to make a nice bow out there. So now I'm going to take my signature and I am going to make sure that my pockets are at the bottom here. Okay, I'm going to go in through the back of this center hole, the back of my signature, the center hole, and I'm going to bring my string through just like this. Then I'm going to go through the top, and sometimes you might have to be a little aggressive at first. I'm going to go through the top, pull my string, make sure to leave your outside string. Don't pull too much of this if you want to be able to make a nice bow out there. All right, and then go through the back on the top, so the same corresponding holes. Then you're going to take your needle and put it through the top. So we just came out of here. We're going to skip the middle, go to the top, get it through there, then put it through the hole on the back of the signature, like this. All right, and now you're going to go back out through your center hole, on the back of your signature, and then through the center hole on the back of your journal. All right, and then you're gonna pull and make sure that your journal is in there really nice and tight. Then you can take these clips off, turn it over, then you can take your needle out, and then again, just make sure it's really good and tight. Then you're going to take one of your strings that you are left with, you should be left with two, put it under this part of your string here, so that this one is between these two. Then pull these two both pretty tight. Then you can make a knot. Just like this. And then I'm going to make one more knot to secure it. And then you can make a cute bow with the string. As big or small as you want. Just like this. So that's the outside and that's the inside. So our first signature is sewn in. So now I'm going to repeat the process and sew in my other signature. All right, so I've gone ahead and sewed in the other signature, and I just love how that looks on the outside of the spine there. So it's sewed in, and we've got our cute little pockets, and then the other signature as well. All right, so let's work on the signature covers and the inside these pockets here. So for the signature covers, I'm using my pattern paper that we've been using. So it is the Fall Field pattern paper. So this is the one we're using for the whole series for our fall project. And it measures 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And I'm just gonna mat this on the top of my signature. And you can do this before you put it in the book, before you sew it in. It might be easier, but I wasn't even totally sure I wanted to mat them because I like the color of this cardstock. So you just open it now and press it down, but that's totally up to you. All right, just like that, super pretty. And then repeat that for the backs and fronts of, so the remaining part of this one and then this one, so same size. And then for the inside here, you can choose not to mat this, that's totally optional. Again, I was on the fence. I'm using a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 3/4 of our pattern paper, and I'm gonna show you how to put that in effectively. So what I did is I kind of pulled this back and then pushed it under here first, then kind of bring it up to where you want it, like this, okay? And then again, same thing for the back and your other signatures. All right, so then for the inside front of my cover, I have a pocket here that measures 4 3/4 by 8, and on the 8-inch side, I scored it at 1/2 inch on both sides, and then on the bottom, on the 4 3/4 side, I just scored it 1/2 inch to give myself a side loading pocket, okay? And then I use that same Martha Stewart punch, and I believe it's called doily lace, and I just punched across the top, okay? So I'm gonna put that in here, and I'm gonna place it so that it's just a little bit away from my spine. So I think I'll just use my art glitter glue for that. Just put it all over your bottom flap. I kind of go between glue and tape when I'm putting these down, pockets and stuff like that. Just a little bit away from your fold line, and make sure they're lined up on both sides. And then we need to burnish. If I can find my bone folder. I only have 40 of them. So burnish that, just like this. All right, and then we can bring this back and add our glue to both of these flaps. All the way to the top. And then just bring that down. Again, just kind of making sure it stays straight. And then we can burnish it. I just love how that looks. It's so pretty. I don't think I've used a punch in a very long time. All right, now, so for inside of our pocket to mat, right in here, so it'll go in like this, and we'll just leave an even border. You need a piece that's 2 by 6 3/4, and you can go longer into the pocket if you want. I just don't see the reason to waste paper no one's gonna see. just like this, and then just slide it in there. Look how pretty that looks. I absolutely love the gold foiling in this collection. Just like that. All right, then we've got a little corner pocket here, and this is a die. It's from La La Land Crafts, and it's called the Left Pocket Die. But I'm just gonna measure for you guys. So if you wanted to just make one out of paper, well, it's out of paper, but if you just wanted to make one yourself, you would cut it to 3.5 by 3.25, and then you'd score 1/2 inch on both sides of the 3.5 side, and then one side of the 3.25, and then you would just cut it down diagonally right here, okay? If you don't have this die. All right, and I'm gonna cut off this edge here, and I will link this die below too for you guys. So burnish from the top, and then I'm gonna add my glue to both of my little flaps. And I'm gonna line it up so that it's right along my pretty punching here. And burnish. And then I'm just gonna make sure this still fits the way I was wanting it to. Yep, so this piece of pattern paper measures 3.5 by 6 3/4. And you just saw where I'm gonna put it. It's time for a new bottle of Fabri-Tac, clearly. So it's just gonna go right in here. I think this pumpkin paper is probably my favorite paper from this collection. Look how pretty that's starting to look. I really love it. All right, and then for the top of this pocket, this pocket itself actually comes with a die for the mat on it. So I used that, and let's just glue it onto the top of the pocket. I just cut it with the pattern paper. Out of the pattern paper, I should say. And then this is from that same Screech Owl Studio, the cut-aparts that we used in the previous fall book I did in the series. I'll link these below again. So they just come like this. Oh, this one's really cute. Maybe I'll use that on the back. But yeah, it's just, I think you even get more than this. But that's what I've cut. So I fussy cut this little cute sweater out of there. And I'm going to place it about right here. But I'm only going to put glue kind of on this corner so that it doesn't close up our pocket. And I'm going to place it about right here. Make sure you don't put it into your spine. Obviously, you're probably not going to use the same embellishment. And then this is like a little embellishment I created. It's also a die from La La Land Crafts. It's a coffee cup die. And then this is also one of their dies. And then this is from one of their stamp sets. And it says pumpkin spice and everything nice. And I'm going to put that right here on top of the pockets. Just a little worried about this edge. It clears, so that's good. Okay, yeah, and I'm gonna put that here. I'm not gonna pop it up or anything because I popped up the sentiment for all my pumpkin spice lovers. And I'm going to put that right here. Super, super cute. And then I'm going to make an insert to go in here. So I don't really know yet what, probably just a 4x6 or something, so that you could put a 4x6 photo. I'm going to just tack down just under the shoe here, because that's fine. Just because I don't like how it keeps coming up. And then some, you know, we can still put stuff back there. Like I might even use a tag or something like that to go in here. But I'll put an insert in there, some kind, in the cute pocket that we made there. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and finish the back, and then we'll talk about the inserts. But I'm going to do it the exact same way on the back as here. All right, so I went ahead and finished the back. This is again just from the Screech Owl Studios Digi set. I just fussy cut it, and then these dies are also from La La Land Crafts. They come in the same set. They'll be linked below. And then for the inserts, my peach cardstock is 3 1/4 by 6 1/4, and the white is 3 by 6. And then for this one here, the peach is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and the white is 4 by 6. And then that just goes into the pocket right here. So you can fit some fun fall photos in there as well. And then the same exact ones in the front, the inserts, okay? So that finishes the inside. Now, and then on these pockets, if you want to do some matting or add some cute little dies or anything like that, that's totally up to you. I like to leave my journal pages plain so that I can decorate them as I go. But you can add whatever you'd like to yours before you get started on it. So let's work on our closure, because the inside is done, and as you can see, it's a little bit thick, so it definitely needs a closure. So I've got this really pretty like plum, maybe like a washed out plum seam binding. I've had it forever. I have no idea where I got it from. And I'm going to put some tape on the front of my journal here. So this is just double-sided tape, and remove the backing just like this. And then this is about 12, probably more than 12 inches, maybe 14 inches. I like big bows. You guys know that. I don't like small bows. And then I've got another piece here that's about the same length. And I'm going to put it on the back here. And just kind of line these, try to line these two up. I love making journals so much. I have to admit, I'm not, you know, the biggest journal person. I do like to journal, and like I said, I like to decorate journals. But I really like making them, for sure. All right, now I'm going to tie my bow. Such pretty color for this. Just reminds me of the purpley fall leaves. All right, and then just bring it together, and then you have your pretty little bow. All right, and then for my front cover, all I did is I cut my peach cardstock a 1/4 inch smaller than my cover, and then I cut my pattern paper a 1/4 inch smaller than the peach. And then these are all dies from La La Land Crafts. So the circle, the scalloped circle I cut in gold, and then the letters, and then there's some banners, and I just did a bunch of die cutting some fall leaves. And then these cute flowers are from I Am Roses, and I've had them for like 6 years, so I have no idea where, if they even still have them. I'm sure they have something very, very similar. So I'm going to glue on my back cover here, or my front cover. Just like this. And then I'm going to open it and just press it from the inside a little bit. All right, and then I'm just going to do the same thing on the back. I'm going to do the peach cardstock 1/4 inch smaller, and then the pattern paper 1/4 inch smaller than the peach. But then that finishes our little journal. I love it so much. It just makes me happy. I hope you guys love it too. And remember to comment down below to get entered into the draw to win one of 3 cutting guides. So it'll be the cutting guides for all of all the projects. The cutting guide to this will be linked below to my Etsy shop. And but when you win, you will win all the cutting guides for the whole fall Halloween series, okay? So there'll be 3 winners for that, so remember to comment down below. And then I'm also going to have a link down below to my brand new Facebook page for you guys to share all of your creations with my tutorials, so you guys can hop over there if you haven't yet. And but that's everything for me for today. I will see you guys again next Thursday, and it'll probably be a spooky one next week. So I really appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.